Hi everyone. Today I thought let me talk something about setting boundaries. If you are a person working in corporate world, you might have heard of this word setting boundaries. But in my opinion, majority of the people actually doesn't know what does it mean by setting boundaries. And if you are not in corporate world also, this thing is very important, not only in work, in your personal life also. But you did not know that the term is called setting boundaries. So let's first see what is meant by setting boundaries. So boundary is what you all know that set boundary is like a limit. You can do until that, and beyond that there is a different, let's take the example of property. A boundary is until this point it is your property, from there it is someone else's property. It defines the space. Boundary defines the space. In that space, some things can happen. Outside that space, only some other things can happen. In the workspace, setting boundary means there are quite a good number of things that you can count in that. One is the amount of work that you are doing. Whatever role you are in, be it you are in the entry levels, junior levels, or you are in the senior levels, or even the CEO or the founder, whatever role you are in, you should define the amount of work that you are doing. That is setting boundary. One aspect. Another is like, when do you need to say yes? When do you need to say no? That is another aspect about setting boundary in the workplace. And when it comes to workplace, there are so many examples that I can give on setting boundaries. For example, whom do you want to go out for tea with? In the name of team building or networking, you don't have to force yourself to go with people whose vibrations are, the character or the frequency doesn't match with you. You don't have to, actually. You should take the courage to say no or excuse yourself from there in a polite way. In that way, you are respecting your own boundaries. It comes in the collaboration. It doesn't mean that you should isolate yourself from. You are setting the boundaries so that you are not getting exhausted. Your values and your priorities are not getting affected because of that. And again, I would say the setting boundary comes in your career growth aspect also, in your salary growth aspect also. You want a salary hike or a promotion, and you are working for that maybe for a year of time, or you're working for that for a couple of years. Are you still waiting for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? You are setting boundary there. How long you want to wait to get to that point, what you want to achieve. That's also setting boundary for yourself. How much do you want to stretch? How much do you want to wait? When that boundary is not set, your career affects. That's where the career stagnation comes from. I did not set that boundary early in my, at some point in my career. That is where I got badly affected by the career stagnation. When I learned how to expand my boundaries and create the new boundaries, that is when I was able to come out of my career stagnation. And it continues in every career stage. It continues. Where I want to put the boundary, where I want to expand the boundary, that is also there. It's not only about limiting the boundaries. You should be aware of where to expand your boundary also. That defines your growth. Another area where the boundary setting can be applied is in the people management. If you are a lead or some senior roles or leadership positions, there has a good amount of people management involved. So you should know how much you need to involve even in their work or in their personal matters or in their professional aspects. You should be well aware of how much you need to involve, how much you need to withdraw. That is also an aspect of setting boundary. And that's very important. Recently, even for me also, I am not a perfect person in setting boundaries. And my learning also is like, it's growing. So just very recently, I realized that, okay, I was setting boundaries unconsciously. I didn't know this term, setting boundaries, or I was not aware that I was really setting boundaries in those areas, expanding where it is required, limiting it where it is required. It was not really consciously setting the boundaries. It was just as part of the role it was happening, but I was doing that. That actually helped me to increase my people management skills. I was a very introvert person who never wanted to manage people. I never wanted to be in a management role because I was so bad in people management and networking. But today, if you ask me, people management and people interaction is something I really enjoy doing. Even if I go for a networking event, I can see that people love to talk to me. They come and talk to me. That is actually a skill I have developed because of the roles that I did. It was not a conscious one, but I wanted to do better in the roles that I was working on. So when I became started to take the leadership roles or the management roles, there I didn't wanted to be a boss. I wanted to be a person who helped them in their growth, in my team members' growth aspect. So I was very conscious about that. Whatever it is, I always create the personal and professional goals for them. And I work with them. I connect with them one to one to understand what they require for their career growth. And I set the goals respectively. So all those direct interactions with them, I did that very consciously. And I think that is where my skills actually started to improve, the people management skills. And even there, I was actually doing the boundary settings. So in every aspect of your career, the setting boundary plays a very important role. Now let's come to the life aspect. Where does the setting boundary plays a role? When it comes to your day-to-day interactions or the activities, we are actually setting boundaries, creating boundaries when we are interacting with people, be it with our immediate family members who are in our personal zone, or be it with the people outside that personal zone, with strangers, with the people whom you are meeting, whom you are talking, or even with the people you are seeing, you are actually creating boundaries there. We are trained by default to do that. So we might not be very consciously doing that. There are scenarios where we are consciously setting boundaries with people. There are scenarios where we are consciously expanding the boundaries that we created. I'll tell about my case. When I go for some events, when I meet new people, I know what I should share, what I should not share, how much I should interact, what is the body language even that I should take when I am talking with one person. It reflects based on what they are showing, what is their energies, what is the attitude that they have. Based on that, my approach towards them also, it is based on that. So I create boundaries or I stretch the boundaries, I expand my boundaries when I am talking to them. Based on, and again, it is based on each person, each individual. You can know when to share and when not to share, how much to share, what to share with them. All these are part of setting up boundaries. When we are traveling, we know, like some people we talk. Even let me tell you a simple example. If we are traveling, we saw a kid, a very charming 6 to 7 months old kid who is smiling at you. Of course, the smile of a child is like very contagious. You will reflect that back. You reflect that back, and if the child is still smiling and showing some gestures, you will, you will take a small step. You will maybe go and just play with the child. At least some action of, interaction that you will do there. There also, actually, you are within the boundaries. You are taking action, you have a boundary there. You cannot just go and take the child and pamper that because that's a stranger's child. You don't know them. They don't know you. So you are very conscious, but little actions you are doing there to value that interaction. There also we are creating the boundaries, and if it is very friendly, if you are on a long travel, you get to know them better, then then you will slowly expand your boundary. So you can think about this in every aspect, even with your child or even with your spouse or with your friends, with your parents, you are doing this. But we did not name them as setting boundaries. The setting boundary is a very important aspect, and that actually defines your growth, your peace of mind, your happiness. And again, there is another aspect that I did not mention, setting boundaries with yourself. What is that you are doing with yourself? Where are you limiting your boundaries? Where are you stretching or expanding your boundaries? That's very important. Be conscious about what is that you are doing to yourself on this aspect of setting boundaries. I hope this conversation was useful. Share in the comments what is your thought process about setting boundaries, or what have you gained. If you gained any new insights about setting boundaries from this conversation, let me know in the comment box. If you are new to the channel and have not subscribed yet, click the subscribe button below. See you in the next video. This is Ramya signing off. Take care. Bye-bye.